Okay, we took an idea now. We will watch a small video how the virus
protein code
works.
And then a lot of them will have membranes around the outside that allow them to...
There is two kinds of viruses, DNA type and RNA type. DNA type, when it comes inside
Use with a host cell.
inside the cell, it takes over the cell and the cell starts to produce new viruses. It doesn't produce cells. It starts to produce more viruses. This is the lactic cycle, they tell. It's the virus, it's carrying a DNA with it, a code.
Sometimes they'll actually take those membranes with them. Now after
they go inside. The factory of the cell starts making more DNA, virus DNA, and they get out. When they get out, the cell explodes. They kill the cell. They go out. When they go out, the cell bursts. The virus works. The DNA virus works like this. It comes inside the cell. It makes new viruses. When it goes out, the cell explodes.
If you're paying attention, you notice somebody else snuck in here as well. So this guy looks a little bit different, but he happened to be inside the cell the same usually have.
This is the second type, the RNA virus. The RNA virus, when it comes inside the cell, it stays inside. It hides inside. We have 8% from this inside us. It comes inside and it cuts your DNA and it puts its DNA and it lives.
Which one is more dangerous?
We will speak about this now.
Enzyme that goes along with it. In this case, they have something called reverse transcriptase. So if you don't know what that is, let's watch what happens in the animation. So they inject RNA and reverse transcriptase in. And what does reverse transcriptase do? Well, it does the opposite of transcription. In other words, it takes RNA and actually makes DNA out of it. Now, why is that bad? Well, there's not going to be a lot of error checking within there. And so in RNA viruses, you have mutation rates that are just crazy. They're not scanning the DNA to make sure there are no mistakes. The RNA constantly has mistakes. And in fact, RNA viruses will actually live on the mistakes that are made.
They live inside the cell. The RNA virus lives inside you. Not the DNA virus attacks, kills, destroys, and goes elsewhere. It lives inside you.
The copying of that as well.
For example, SIDA. If a person has AIDS, HIV, the son has the son plus. All the lineage, the virus lives because HIV is RNA virus. It lives inside you. It cannot go out.
Last thing I want to talk about is the lysogenic cycle. And so I've kind of walked you through this, which is the lytic cycle. That's where a virus injects its DNA.
Virus injects.
It makes copies of itself.
It makes copies.
It makes the machinery of the virus, and then eventually this
goes out.
lysine, or that release.
This is the lytic
to go infect more cells. But there's also a different cycle, and that's called the lysogenic cycle. Lysogenic means creating lytic is the best way to think about it. It can give birth to the lytic cycle. So what happens here is they'll inject their DNA in. It'll actually
It will sit with your DNA. It will stay in your DNA.
Sit in the bacteria, and then as the bacteria copies itself,
For example, he is speaking about bacteria. When an RNA virus enters a bacteria, when the bacteria multiplies, it multiplies with it. It's inside.
It'll be copied over and over and over again. So that's pretty cool. In a lysogenic cycle, which is not in all viruses, they're actually getting the bacteria to copy themselves over and over and over again. They can
And they live with the bacteria, this kind.
Actually jump back into the lid.
If they want, when they are living in this cell, they can jump to this cycle. They make more viruses and go out and kill the bacteria. They can do as they like. They can stay inside, or they can jump to the lytic cycle.
And then this continues. So cold sores are an example of that. If you have cold sores, or those big sores on the outside of your lip, you'll have those forever.
You know what is speaking? This is very important. You know, we have cold sores here. You know, Master, the bacteria, it's inside your cell. But when you are weak, the bacteria goes outside. From inside your cell, it's living from heredity, thousands of years ago. You are infected, but it's inside you, inside the cell. The cold sores, they come from inside your cell, because they are inside your cell. There is 8% virus DNA in your body. How you have these cold sores? Because the virus decides to go out from your DNA to the lytic
You
cycle.
have the DNA inside the cells inside your body. They're sitting in the lysogenic cycle. And
They
can
sit-
jump into the lytic cycle.
They jump
Your
in.
immune system is suppressed. So it's pretty cool,
You
at
see?
least cool from the side of the virus way to pass themselves. But the other thing that's interesting about the lysogenic cycle is that when bacteriophages, and bacteriophages, remember, are going to be viruses that infect bacteria, when they enter into the lysogenic cycle, they can actually change the virulence of the bacteria. And so cholera is
Look, you know the sickness cholera? Everybody, long time ago, they knew that cholera was a bacteria dangerous. Now they found out that the cholera bacteria, it's not dangerous. But when the bacteria is injected from this CTX virus, bacteria becomes dangerous. The cholera bacteria, it's good. But when the virus comes inside and it's not monthly, the cholera becomes, it's named Vibrio cholera. Bacteria injected with virus, it becomes bad. This is the devil, and this is the jinn. Even the jinn, there is good and bad, and the devil gets inside. It gives its DNA, be bad.
awful disease. It's a diarrheal disease. So you die as a person with cholera. You die of severe dehydration. It's caused by a bacteria, Vibrio cholerae, and it's been around for thousands and thousands of years. But what we've discovered is that cholera itself is actually not that bad. It's not very virulent. It won't give off toxins until it's infected by this virus. And once it's infected by this specific CTX virus, then it becomes virulent and can lead to these awful cholera.
You see, the cholera bacteria is not that bad. But when it's infected with the virus, it becomes the killer cholera that we know. It's new now, this one. Now, we will watch another video.
A third type of structure found within the genome is also direct evidence of genetic relationships.
This is our genes, DNA. We have 8% fixed virus DNA in our cells.
Retroviruses, like HTLV1,
Retroviruses mean RNA viruses. When they came inside our ancestors and they lived inside them, and we inherited these viruses. Yani, if somebody, now the science telling evolution happened from the virus because it's changed its DNA. The virus DNA, it doesn't take you to better, it takes you to worse. And before we were better, we had less percent virus DNA fixed in our DNA. Now we have more.
which cause a type of leukemia, and AIDS, make a DNA copy of their own viral genome.
And they insert into our DNA, and they live with us.
Inserted into the host genome. If this happens inside,
This is very important. I want you to listen. If a woman is pregnant and the virus comes to the egg, this baby is finished. This is viral. It takes the virus. It lives with it. For example, if it comes to us the virus, maybe it lives, it goes out. But if it comes to the egg, for example, a woman which has HIV virus and her baby is infected with the virus, This baby, he doesn't have white blood cells to attack the virus. It takes in it and it becomes fixed with its DNA. It's finished. This is worse.
By the sperm cells or the egg cells, the retroviral DNA will be inherited by the descendants of the host.
It will be inherited.
These copies of the virus DNA are called
It won't
endogenous
get out.
retroviruses. In human DNA, there are about 30,000 endogenous retroviruses. The sperm cells or the egg cells, the
We have 30,000 viruses, genes in every cell in us till now, 8%. Okay.